was all on my own. I mean the signal, like the Japanese do. So they did have electricity as well brought in, but that would be generator run, possibly not very consistent around fuel. They did have fresh water. The handrail you used was a water pipe. I guess they fitted a hose, filled up these tanks. So there's 3 of these down here. This has just been taken away to make sure there's no extensions in the tunnels and stuff to blank in. What you will see throughout your trip on the unlined tunnels is these marks. That would be the marks of the Kango hammer they used, or the metal hammered in just to lever the chalk out. Chalk was quite soft, fairly easily diggable. Probably digging the tunnel was not a hard thing to do. Putting the cage in wasn't really a hard thing to do, so it all came pre-formed. It came from the Kent pits or the English coalfields. It was what's used in the Kent mines. Right up to the end of the closure of the coalfields in England, it was still the same structure being used. And all the deep shelters have this same structure. You get some of that back and ask Rod. Not saying he'll know. Got this way there. So this is a map of the tunnels. So it's 200 metres, as we said. We've come down the steps, come along this corridor, and we're now standing here. This is the bit that's been taken down, as you can see behind us. This wasn't taken down by us, it was taken down just after the war. So, this is how the tunnel would have been done. A good metre diameter wider than the actual framework, obviously to erect the framework to make that easier. Chalk, as I said, is fairly mineable, it's fairly soft, comes off in big lumps. As you see the flint, as we were talking about, the seam of flint and all the black bits of the flint, which we mustn't touch later on. But they weren't happy that the chalk would be strong enough to hold up on its own, even though it would only fallen about half a metre of cut. So what they did, they backpacked the void above your head with loose chalk, lumps of chalk. And this bit here above your head here, they cut away a plate to see. So all around these tunnels, it was backpacked with chalk. And I guess that would have been one of the hardest things to do, to get up there and ram all these lumps back in after you put a section of cage in. So, this was taken down, 1956, the army left the cliffs, that's 10 years after the war. Contracts were issued to local councils who issued contracts, to scrap iron men to take all the scrap metal off the cliffs, because scrap metal was worth a lot of money. So they started by taking this bit down and stopped. You can see all the metal stacked there, pretty much left as we found it. So they stopped, and couple of ideas why they stopped. Price of scrap metal fell rapidly, so it wasn't worth it. Too heavy to take up the stairs? I doubt it. So members of our generation English, you know what this is?
Behind. Look at the video, I can see the light.
Free run on the lottery, you can win a lot of money. Win loads of money. So this was football carried on during the Second World War as a morale booster. So, but it was mostly local fixtures. If you study these fixtures, it was all North, Midlands or South were playing each other. So football carried on. Used to tick the boxes for score draws or a draw. Is that right? Anybody else did it? Yeah. Nobody? You did them, you know? Oh, come on, you don't. No, it's yeah. You sent them off every week, got checked, and if you got a lot of score draws or draws, you may have win some money, a share of the lottery as it were. And if you're very good, you might win a huge amount of money. So I think was it 3 points for a score draw?
I think so.
So if you just check the walls of these two little tunnels here, rooms, they're actually coated with a substance. It's not bare metal. If you look above your heads here, you'll see why, because it stops the condensation hanging onto the metal. Because the material they used didn't get behind the beams, you can see the beams of condensation. So this substance, they say, is cork. So it obviously does a job, stop the condensation, and they also think these two rooms were used as a dressing station or a storeroom for food or something slightly better. It's shellfish, crushed shellfish and crustaceans formed into a very tough material used for building houses and your flintlock muskets, flint, and your spearheads, Iron Age men, Stone Age men. But there is a seam of flint along here, which is a long line, which evidently is carbon dated to the same date as one that goes all the way through to Germany. So I'm told by the experts. I'm only repeating what I've been told. It might not be true even. You have to make your own mind up. But flint is very old, and of course chalk is the seabed, an old seabed made out of plankton, etc., etc. First 41, that would be these brick doors were actually steel doors, you can still see the hidden. So they were airtight doors. There's a shelling raid, a big one. A piece of shell came down the stairs, all that in, it's not glass going through the tunnel.
Alright, mate. That's it. I'll go around the corner.
Do that again.
Okay. You can see the whole flint line there, it goes all the way through.
Yeah.
Right into France. So this would have been the seabed 80 million years ago.
Ah.
So that's the seabed before we had this split from North Europe, the Ice Age when we split away from Europe.
Ah. Do not touch the block.
Because the clue being, you can look upwards.
Okay, so that's where they start.
And the adults can't hang
Now you're down here on 12-hour shifts. What do you get up to? You do a bit of carving. Look at that. That would have been done with a pen.
When we go, you have to look straight up. We can't, so
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
we have one other.
You got here. Down here in the 60s. Okay, right, here you go. This is a seat. Quite unusual, that size. And this, these would have been all the way along holding cables for the searchlights.
So,
To keep them on the ground.
Yeah. 1940. That's a very old one.
Come through.
Well, people just going around in the tunnels before. But they removed all evidence of war after this. So they filled up all the steps. Here, poured rubble down,
Just in there.
closed this end off.
A lot of it was
Everything on
done
the
in the
cliffs would be
60s.
raised. So
I'll
people
show you
couldn't
the
get into the tunnels.
40s.
But eventually, in about turn of the century, people started to get back in again, digging out, exploring. That's why you've got graffiti, curly ticket. And you have to keep your heads down. And you go right through to the end, you turn right. And just push down.
Yeah, we've got here like Paul
Keep your heads
Burton,
down.
9th of April 42. Then you've got JF, 1940. You've just written the offence. We've got Andy Christopherson, Robbie Clark, Chrissy Burns.
Thank you.
Keep your heads down.
You want us to
Yeah, straight out, straight out.
Yeah, to the right.
To the right.
Well, mate, you go on.
It's nice and warm when you get out there.
Look,
You're in the sun.
mushrooms. What are these mushrooms?
What, you looking at the fungus?
It's a fungus.
Look at this one. Why it's beautiful. Take a picture of that. It's a gold.
See, we get slugs in here. See all the ones? Slugs get this far. So they used to, when they dug the tunnels, put the chalk out here and just tipped it over. Right, so this one's a later model, probably mid-1920s. This is it. See how it worked? This is the platform. We've re-erected the platform. That would be like a microphone there, which would be the centre of the circle, the focal point as we call it. He would collect the sound, he would listen to it, had earphones if you look closely, and then you had to decipher what was coming. This is another edition of a mirror like that, slightly cruder. This one is up on the cliffs the other side of Dover. Still a hearing device linked with earphones. So this 1936, the whole lot was abandoned. This was discovered radar, proper radar. It's saved us a lot more work.
Okay.
So this is our coffee bowl, or tic-tac-toe, as the Americans call it, or the Dutch call it. It's see noughts and crosses? What do you call it? Do you call it noughts and crosses?
Yeah.
Right, who wants to know about the brick?
Hello, I've bypassed that.
I thought we were doing it for grown-ups.
You can. Noughts and crosses. So the Yanks call it tic-tac-toe, and the Dutch call it, what do the Dutch call it, what?
Oxford. Butter, cheese and eggs.
Butter, cheese and eggs. Dutch.
That's what we call Oxford.
Well, yeah, so noughts and crosses. not
Yeah.
noughts and, yeah, why do they call it butter, cheese and eggs?
No, but they are Australian.
That's a really nice, pretty fungus. It grows on the wood, but it eats into the wood, unfortunately.
Let me take a photograph.
Right, there's not too much to see now before we reach the bottom of the stairs, except one bit of graffiti just described here. Right, yeah.
George. Harry. Come on.
This little story here. You want to come along? There's a little story here, you can look at it when I've finished. As I said earlier, there's no one we can trace who actually served down here. Lots of rumours. My dad was here, or my granddad was here, because they didn't need their serial number, except this guy, Gardner, WJ8, 5680866, 1942. So they traced the number. He was an artilleryman down here. He went to D-Day. On D-Day he went a week behind to fight in the Battle of Caen, which was a huge artillery battle to take the town of Caen. It took 3 weeks, I think, to take Caen before they could break out to France. he got injured somewhere in the campaign, I don't know how much longer. Came back to England, obviously mended himself, and he came back here again. That's what the records say, and he actually wrote his signature twice, so he's written it again when he was back down here. So they have traced him, his family know about him, and he's actually, I think his son said, that's definitely his writing, but he never knew. He knew he was somewhere down on the south coast, but didn't actually know he was stationed here. Is that right, Rod?
Aye.
Aye. So there's a shot. This is a metal shot, solid metal. It's been fired. It's English. I don't know whether it was ever fired from Dover. It was fired from Dover. Someone must have followed it and brought it back. But it's been fired because the copper band has rifling in it. So when you get to the top, turn right outside.